Hi everybody, welcome to the kitchen. It's nearly autumn and we're switching over from berries to great fruits like apples and pears. And today I want to show you how to make a great spiced ginger pear cake. And usually I do this in a bundt cake, but because I want to do this a little quicker today, we're going to do them as cupcakes so we have individual sized desserts. So we're going to get started with our fresh ginger and spiced pear cake. And I've got some flour and some salt and some soda, and the recipe of course is online. And we're going to add some warm spices. So I'm going to add some ginger. This is just a dry ground ginger. And I'm going to add allspice. It's got a lot of different flavors in there. We want to give this some warm spice flavor. So we've got allspice, and then we've got some cinnamon. We can't do warm spices without cinnamon, that's for sure. So I've got all this in my bowl. I'm just going to whisk my dry ingredients together. I like to whisk my flour, salt, the leavening agents, whatever is dry. I like it all nicely combined before I even start, because there's nothing worse than getting a little bite of baking soda or something in your cookie or your cake. So we don't want that. So I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to start with our other ingredients. And this has got no butter, but it does have vegetable oil. And I'm going to save my cup here. And then just some sugar. And I'm going to turn my mixer on, and I want this to get kind of creamy, so you'll be able to see that it's well combined. Alright, I'm going to let that go. I need 3 eggs, so we're going to beat these eggs. And I want them all homogeneous, just no white streaks. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's bring that up a little bit. Alright. And I'm going to strain the eggs in. And then we're going to let that get kind of creamy. Alright. So my eggs are light. Everything's combined. It's kind of fluffy. We're going to let that go. And then to that, I'm going to add these pears. And this is 3 cups of just finely chopped pear. And I also put about a tablespoon of lemon juice over the top of those after I prepped them, so they would stay, keep from browning. And to this I'm going to add a tablespoon of fresh grated ginger. But I wanted to show you how I do that. And so a couple tools that are critical for me is a microplane. I cannot live without this. A really good quality vegetable peeler, not a cheapy one, but a good one with a nice handle, and a really sturdy blade, and of course a sharp knife. This is my piece of ginger that I'm going to grate, and so I'm going to cut the ends off. And the reason I do that, it's easier to peel if you start and end with a place where there's no peel. And I'm going to take this little knob off, and you can use a spoon. I've used a spoon for this, but this is much quicker. So I'm going to take this little knob off. Now I've just got a straight, nice, flat piece. So I'm just going to run my peeler down here and pull this peel off. And ginger is stringy and it can be hard to work with, but really not so much. And I just want to show you this too. If you don't have a good vegetable peeler, you can just take a teaspoon, usually, and just do this. So this works too. Okay, so there's options. You have options now. Alright, I'm just going to take the rest of this off. And then when I'm done, what I don't use, I will wrap real tight and saran wrap. And you can use it within a couple days. I've also frozen this. It gets a little weird texture-wise. It gets kind of mushy. But you can put it in a food chopper and puree it and use it still. So I'm going to get rid of this. And now my microplane. And this is going to... I'm just going to set it down flat and do this. And you got to use a little bit of muscle because you don't want to take it forever. Take forever to do this. Okay. This is really fine, so I might not need quite a whole tablespoon, but we're going to keep going here for a little bit. All right. So I've got my tablespoon of ginger. I'm just going to put it in here, and we're going to add this. I'm going to lower my bowl. We're going to add these pears to the mixture here. Okay. It's kind of awkward. This is backwards, but that's okay. All right, and I'm just going to combine these. Talent. Okay. Looking good. All right, and then I've got a cup of pecans, and I'm just going to add that. I like doing this when I have nuts to add to a recipe. I just add it to the flour. That saves me a step. I think sometimes when you put the dry ingredients in and then you try to add the nuts, sometimes it's hard to get them incorporated evenly, and you have nutty portions and naked portions. Also, I think that the flour on the nuts keep them from sinking from the very beginning. So I'm going to turn this on low, and I'm going to add this a little at a time until it's mixed in. Smells so good, I can smell the spices already. Just going to do this. Okay. Now I'm going to let this go just a few minutes until it gets a little bit fluffier. It needs to be just a hair fluffier. Alright, it's looking pretty good to me, so we're going to take this off, this bowl off. I'm going to scrape this off. Now we're going to put this into our cupcake pans. So give me a second and I'll be back with my cupcake pans. Okay, I've got my cupcake pans, and I actually just sprayed these with a little of the baking spray that you can purchase. If you don't have that, you can, of course, butter them first and then dust them with a little flour. But for cupcake pans, I like the spray just because it's so much faster. And this is one of my other indispensable tools. It's a scoop. This is the yellow handled scoop. If you wonder how do you get your cupcakes and everything exactly, cookies exactly the same size, it's a scoop. So we want to fill these about a little over half full. We don't want them to run up over the top of the pan. So we're going to fill these, and then we're going to bake them in a 350-degree oven until they're clean. When we put a toothpick in, it comes out clean. I'm going to start at 15 minutes and then check them every few minutes to make sure we get them at just the right moment. If you're doing this in a bundt pan, a big cake pan, which I would recommend you do this in a bundt pan, it's going to take 50 minutes to an hour. 50 minutes to an hour. So, all right, we'll be back with some baked cupcakes. All right, we've got some cupcakes right here. These are our pear cake cupcakes. And now we're going to do a brown butter icing with lemon and honey, which I think lemon and honey just go great with pear. So over here I've got some butter in this pan. It's on a medium-high heat. And I'm going to let this go until it starts to turn brown. And right now, you know, it's not going to do much. All of the liquid is going to evaporate out of this butter. And then as the liquid evaporates, it's going to start to brown. The fat is going to start to brown. And when we get to the point where it's close to browning, we're going to watch it really close, because you can go from a light brown to smoke and burnt in about 30 seconds. So we're just going to let this butter go here. And I actually put this in a little skillet. You can put it in a saucepan and do it that way, but I think the skillet, because we have more surface area on the bottom, is going to brown this butter a little quicker. So we're all about speed here today. So, and then when this is ready, we'll strain it, or we'll pour it into the bowl, but we're going to leave all the little, there'll be some dark particles in the bottom, that's milk solids that got kind of burnt. We don't want that in our icing, so we'll leave those underneath. And this is sputtering a little bit, but that's okay. So I see that there's a little browning happening, a little bit. And this is happening quicker than usual because we're using the skillet. So as you can see, it's browning. And I'm watching. Here we go. I think we're there. When you start to see a little dark smoke, you want to stop. All right, so we got some, oh yeah, nice brown butter. Yep, and I'm getting bits, so I'm going to strain it. There we go. And I'm going to strain it. I'll just strain it back into this skillet. That works for me. Okay. Now we'll put the brown butter in here. Nice. All right. So this is still really hot, and the reason I melt the butter is because it's going to be a glaze. So we want it to be kind of runny when we put it on the cupcake, and then it's going to set up a little bit when the butter hardens up. So to this I have some vanilla, I have some honey, and I have some lemon juice in here. And this is what's going to flavor our icing. These three elements. Don't have a lot of any. We just want a real mild flavor. So I'm going to whisk that into the hot butter, which is going to make it work really well. And then I've got a cup of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar. I want to add that in. And I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to use a whisk to start. I may have to switch to my spoon. We'll see. Kind of want to work this with the whisk so we can get the lumps out. All right. Nice and brown, pretty. Now, this is thin, but I want it a little bit thinner to go over the top of these cupcakes. So I'm just going to put a little dab of milk in there. And it's going to vary with the powdered sugar how much milk is going to need to go in here. But I do want this to be thin enough to like drizzle over these cupcakes. And I'm going to do this while the cupcakes are still warm. And that's going to help it slide over the top of the cupcake. Okay. So I put these cupcakes on a cooling rack over a sheet pan simply for the reason that I know this glaze is going to run off of them onto whatever's underneath, whatever surface. And I thought this would make my cleanup a lot easier. So I'm just going to drizzle just like that. We don't need a lot on each one. I'm going to kind of start in the middle and let it go down the sides. And we do want it to kind of run down the sides. These cupcakes are nice and sweet, but this is just going to give us a little extra something, right? All right, so here we go. I'm going to finish these in a bit, but I think we need to try one of these and see how they turned out. So, and see how that glaze is just going to go all over that cupcake and run down the sides. So you're going to get a little glaze in every bite. And anytime you serve anything, you want to taste everything in every bite. So I think this is a pretty little thing. Now, I did this today for speed's sake, but if I were going to serve these individually, I would actually use a large, like a Texas-sized muffin pan to get a larger serving. And obviously, if you're going to display this on a buffet, you would want to do the bundt cake pan. But I wanted to do this today just so I'd have time to show you this. So we're going to break this open. Oh, nice. Pecans. I see chunks of pear. This looks really good. It looks like fall. So let's see how it tastes. I'm told I must taste things. And a little bit of brown butter and a honey and lemon is just the right complement to this cake. So this recipe is on the website. Definitely check it out and enjoy a little pear cake this fall.